Hi, thank you for joining us this afternoon. To say that my name is Pam Bateman. I am from Open Sight Hampshire. We support people with sight loss across Hampshire. This is my contact details if you need to get hold of us at all at any point. Mainly what we do at Open Sight Hampshire is we support people with information, advice, guidance, equipment, benefits advice. We also have a family support service as well. In quote unquote normal times, what we would normally be doing is that we would hold what we call equipment and information days. And we generally hold 4 of these across the county of Hampshire. And Professional Vision would normally come along and support us with one of those days. And those days are generally very successful. We have about 50 to 60 people come through the doors. But as you probably don't need me to tell you that these are not normal times, and it's not been a normal year for everybody. So next best thing we can do is to have these webinars. Today we've got Professional Vision joining us. I've got Joe Fraser from Professional Vision joining us, and he is going to talk about some of the services that they can offer. Mainly, he'll be talking about the MagniLink. So what I'm going to do is I will hand you over to Joe, and he's going to talk about MagniLink and talk about the work professional vision services do. At the end as well, we'll have a quick sort of Q&A session as well. So if anybody's got any questions at all, you can either put it in the chat box and we'll sort of answer it as we go along, or we can save questions to the end and we'll talk to Joe that way. Okay, I will hand you over to Joe. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thanks, Pam. So my name is Joe Fraser and I work for Professional Vision Services. We manufacture equipment for the visually impaired and the blind. We've been making equipment for over 35 years now, so we've been in the industry for a long time. We sell equipment into schools, we sell equipment to the private customer, and we also do equipment for access to work and disabled student allowance as well. So we cover sort of all areas within visual impairment. What I want to talk to you about today is mainly products for the workplace, and more of our more of our products for students, I would say. But you might also see some benefits from them as a personal to use them personally as well. Just before we start, can you just double check that this camera angle is okay, Pam?
Yeah, that's fine.
Can you see that okay?
I can see that fine, yes. Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure that I've got that right. So this product I've got here is called the MagniLink Tab. This is our latest product and it is powered on a Windows 10 Surface Pro computer. And then what we've done is add an external camera to it, so you can use it as a video magnifier, close up and at distance as well. So just before I go in to show you how the actual software works, I'm just going to show you how it all folds. So this camera just comes out. The computer folds back like that. We push it down and then that actually becomes the handle when we're carrying it. The opposite to set it back up. And then we just slot the camera in the hole at the back on the right hand side. And then it will plug in on the left, just like that. So the actual camera is powered by the computer, and on a full charge, it will give you 5 hours of battery life. You can have it plugged in as well if you want to, whilst you're using it, and it will obviously last longer. But yeah, if you're going to take it away from a charging point, then you've got 5 hours of use. So I'm just going to bring you slightly closer so I can show you some of the software. So as you can see, this is normal Windows 10 layout. You might be able to tell from that. Some of you might be familiar with Windows 10, and it's exactly the same. If I go ahead and double click on our software, I'm just clicking on that with a Bluetooth mouse that I've connected. I've also got a Bluetooth keyboard as well, which we can use, but I'll go into a bit more detail of that later on. We can also use the touchscreen as well. So let's just get our live camera on. Okay, so at the moment I've got this text underneath the camera like that, and it's obviously showing it on the screen in front of me. So there are a few ways of actually operating the machine. For the purpose of today, we're going to look at the touch screen, just because you'll be able to see the visual as I'm doing it, and it'll be a lot easier for you to understand. So to change our magnification, we just pinch, and that will make it bigger. If we want to take some of the magnification away, it's the complete opposite. If we want to change the colors, we can swipe 2 fingers down, and there's a range of different colors on there which we can choose from. And if we swipe 2 fingers left and right, it will actually change our brightness and our contrast. So you want to adjust that until you get the sharpest image possible. I'm hoping that you can see the clarity through obviously. Sometimes it's quite hard to replicate the clarity without seeing it in real life. But you can see even at a high magnification, it will stay pretty clear. If we want to take an OCR, so we can actually take an OCR whereby it will take a picture of the page and it will start to read it out loud to us. So let's take some magnification away. I'll line it up. And if I hold my finger on the screen for half a second and let go, it will start reading that out to us.
Gives great opportunities. MagniLink Tab is a complete and mobile tablet solution with high.
So what it's done there is it's captured this page and converted it into this nice clear font for us. Again, from here you can change the colors just by swiping 2 fingers down. You can also change the magnification by pinching, so you can see we can get it really big and it will actually highlight the word that we're on. If you don't want it to be read out, you can just pause it and actually just scroll through the text at your own pace. So if you don't like the voice or you prefer to just read it at your own speed, then that might be a better option for you. And then to go back to our live camera, we just press that button on the left and we're back to being live. It will also do an OCR at a distance. So this camera over here, we can, so if I rotate it 90 degrees and then flick the lens, we can now point this at anything in the distance. I've actually got a sheet of paper on the wall there. So I'll just show you how it actually works at a distance as well. It's exactly the same way. We just need to make sure that we line our camera up properly. Like that. If I hold my finger for half a second again, you can see that it's done it at a distance as well. So it's just taken a photograph of this.
Software related tech.
So I'm sure you can see lots of uses of being able to actually use that at a distance as well. I'm just going to come back to close up now. So if you don't want to convert it into just the text and you actually want to take a photograph of what you're looking at with the pictures as well, we can do that. So if I click on that icon there, you can see that I've now got it as an actual picture. So the difference with this is that it hasn't converted the text into a different font. It's just taking a photograph exactly of the piece of paper that we're looking at. And then from here, we can change our magnification, but we can also make edits to this document. So I've got a highlighter up here, for example. Let's make it slightly bigger so you can all see it. So you can see here, I've got a highlighter and I can start highlighting words, which can be quite useful. We've also got a pen, so I can underline things. I can circle things. I can make any edits I want, really. And if you want, you can even write in a text box. So I'll just put hello. You can see we can actually write in a text box as well, and we can move that around the screen just by pinching and moving it. So that can be quite a useful feature. The other way of using that is by taking an actual picture just of an A4 sheet of paper. So you can see here, if I was to take my picture just of a blank A4 sheet, we could do some drawing, or if we were trying to work something out, then we can just use it as a, oh, let's go back to the pen. We can just use it as a normal notepad, or if you wanted to write notes or anything like that, you can see I'm just using my finger. You can actually use a pen here, but any stylus pen you can actually use on this screen as well. About £15 from Amazon, something like that. So that's how that works. We can move the screen slightly if you want. So if you want to make the screen a lot flatter and use it like you would a normal laptop, you can push the screen back and you can actually bring the camera around to the front. And this will just sort of, it gives you a bit more, if you haven't got enough space on a desk, this is a slightly easier option because the camera's not sticking out on the right hand side. We've actually got it in front of us. I mean, this can also help for handwriting as well, because you're in more of a relaxed position. It'll be slightly easier for you to write just in front of it than actually going over to the right hand side. So that can be quite beneficial. That's pretty much the MagniLink tab sort of summed up, really, in its simplest forms. We can customize a lot of these features within the settings, so you can add distinct colors if you want to. You can change the speed of the speech once we've OCR'd the text. You can change the shortcuts. So there's a lot of sort of customization you can do, but that's the machine summed up, really. And like I said at the start, a lot of our equipment is for students and people in the workplace. So you might already be thinking of how, you know, a student could benefit from this type of equipment. Effectively, they've got a fully working Windows 10 computer, and they've also got an external camera which they can use for all of their magnification purposes. Just before we go on, Pam, do you think we could answer questions on this now?
Yeah, I mean, does anybody have any questions? Magda, could you possibly just go through the three people who we've got on?
Yeah, if people want to unmute themselves and have a question, or if not, then we can move on.
Okay to move on, I think.
Hi, it's Alex Thorburn. I support other disabled people since 1995 as an advocate and also an advisor.
Wow.
I'm thinking I'm in here to learn as much as I can about what new technologies are around for other people, so that I can, when I come across it, I can point them in the right direction. Of course. If I don't know, then they don't get it. I'm thinking about a lady that I've supported since she was 13 years old. She's now 38. She has cerebral palsy, but she's no control over her limbs, or she's no verbal speech. But she controls a talker with her head. She has a switch at the top of her wheelchair beside her right ear, and because she can control her head, her neck muscles a bit, she can click the switch as it runs along the talker. Is there any way that she could make use of something like this?
Well, I mean, it sounds like it's quite a complex sort of case. There's three ways of controlling the tab. Sorry, let me switch around from my big face. So we can use the touchscreen functions, which are we saying is not an option?
Yeah.
The other way of using it is via the keyboard, which is the up and down arrows. Again, if they can't use a touchscreen, they might struggle to use that. And the other one is the mouse, because you can actually use the cursor. If I can find it somewhere, to do it that way. They're the only sort of three ways of being able to control it, really.
Well, no, that's just one thing I was thinking about, and that was all. It's I've always encouraged her to be as independent as she can be, and I told her at the beginning I would never ever take a decision for her. That was condition that I became an advocate. No, that was just a question I had in my mind. I wondered if it could be any use for Rachel. But I help lots of other disabled people. I work with the Scottish Human Rights Commission and people-led policy panel on health and social care as well. So I come a lot of visually impaired people, and one in particular I'm thinking about in Aberdeen that may benefit from this. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, usually the schools or the students would have to carry around a big CCTV magnifier and a laptop separately with software on. But the whole idea of this was we would create something which was a computer as well as a video magnifier all in one. So essentially, this is the only thing they would need to carry around with them. And a lot of the schools using this product, they actually put this computer on their school domain. So all the students can access the local drivers or the OneDrive and use it that way. That might be an option.
Yeah, if you can send me through some information, I can certainly pass it all on.
Yeah, sure, no problem at all. I've got brochures and guides and simple guides of how to use it and all that sort of stuff. So I can definitely pass that on.
Yeah, you've got my email address, I take it. So
I haven't actually. I'm sure Pam does.
I can pass it on. Don't worry, I'll pass it on.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Thanks, Pam.
I think everyone from this session will get this recording as well. Is that right, Pam? And then
yes, I will. It will be edited and then it'll be sent out. So yes, everybody will get the recording of that. Do we have any more questions for Joe before he moves on? Chris or Jamie? No. Okay. I think Joe. We'll probably, if you're able to move on, then that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, sure, no problem at all. Yeah, okay. Well, let me just quickly show you the MagniLink Student. I'm not going to show you the software because the software is very similar to what I've shown you before, but the actual camera is exactly the same. So hopefully you can see this, but this is the same camera as the one that I've got running through the computer. It's slightly different in the way it's designed, but the actual camera quality is exactly the same. But the main difference with this one is you can connect it to any computer or monitor. It will fold if I tip it upside down. You can see it will go nice and compact. One of the advantages of this, so I hope you can see that. I'm just trying to get the right camera angle, but one of the advantages of this is that it will connect to any computer. So, you know, if you've got someone using this whereby this screen size is not big enough, then you might be better off with that separate camera because you can link it to a screen which is 20 inches or 50 inches. So you're not limited by that. So in some ways, this can be more versatile if you think you might need a bigger screen in the future, further down the line. But in terms of the way it works and the software, it's exactly the same. It would just be put through a different computer. So that's the MagniLink Student. I'm now going to go on to a video magnifier which is not computer based, so it will be slightly easier for everyone to understand and also to use for those that aren't using or for those that aren't competent with using computers. Then standalone video magnifiers would be a good option. I'm just going to move this out of the way. So let's try and get the right angle there. I'm just going to tilt it up slightly. So this is a standalone video magnifier, which a lot of you are probably quite familiar with. They've been around for years, but obviously they've changed in their design, and they've obviously got a lot more portable. Some of you can probably imagine how big the original video magnifiers used to be. almost like really old box computers that weigh about 20 kilograms. So it's the same principle, but obviously they've developed a lot in the last few years. This is battery operated, this machine. And you can see it completely collapses and folds. Only weighs 2.5 kilograms, I believe. Let's get this turned on. Well, the way this works is we put our text underneath. So as you can see there, this is our camera, which is pointing down at the minute. We can move it, but I'll show you that in a minute. So it's pointing down on this table. And you can see we can change our magnification with that orange knob in the middle. Next to that, we've got our natural colors, which is everything naturally. We've got our artificial colors next to that. And we've got our brightness and contrast on the end there. So you can see it's really simple to operate. So it's especially good for the elderly or children who, like I said before, are not competent in using computers. It's just a very basic machine with a really powerful camera. As you can see, hopefully, and if you'll be able to see from there, but if I put my hand under there, you should be able to see some of the hairs in my hand. It just shows how clear the camera really is. And it will also work at a distance as well. So I can actually pull this camera back, and I'm now looking at a distance, and I can move this 360 degrees left and right, and it will even come all the way around. So you can actually see your face as well, which is quite nice. And then I can push it back and push it back down. So you can see a really simple but effective piece of equipment. And I'm sure a few of you are familiar with this kind of thing, but they have got a lot more portable and a lot more easier to use, I would say. You can also get a movable XY platform on the bottom here. So it will just make it easier for you to actually move the text. But again, with that, it will make it slightly heavier, especially if you're carrying it around the house a lot or around a school or wherever you might be. You wouldn't want it to be too heavy. Right. Have you got any questions on that one, Pam?
Got any, Alex or Chris or Jamie, is there anything you'd like, if you have any queries or questions for Joe before he moves on? Don't think so, no. I think we're all right. Joe, if you want to, no, Joe, I think we're okay at this stage. I think that's all, I think it's all fairly self-explanatory, so thank you.
Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't need to be overcomplicated. It is a simple bit of equipment, so there's not too much to understand with it. So now. So the next piece of equipment I'm going to show you is called the MagniLink Voice. Now this is a voice machine, hence the name. So this is for students who wouldn't benefit from a screen anymore, because you know, the magnification cannot be big enough, or it's just not clear enough for them, so they have to go on to using some sort of audio device. So this is battery operated as well, as you can see. And then we've got a controller which we actually use to control it on the right hand side. Now that just connects via a USB cable. And the battery life will last for about 4.5 to 5 hours on a full charge. You can increase that battery life if you turn down the lamp, which you can customize within the settings here. You just need to make sure you're in a bright enough room if you're going to do that, because the light's obviously what gives it an accurate conversion on the OCR. So the actual camera is in the arm here. So just up there, there's a small hole. I'm not sure if you can see it. Try and make it a bit closer. But just up there is the camera. We want to make sure that we line our text up within the indents on the machine. The best way to do this is just to feel it. So the best thing is to feel where they are first. And then once you've felt it, you can then guide your piece of paper up. So it's in between that. It's quite important we get it in between that. Otherwise we won't get an accurate OCR conversion when we go to take the picture. So now that I'm happy with how it's lined up, if I just press the orange button on the right hand side, it will start. You'll hear a picture sound, and it will beep, and then it will start to read it out.
One of the most highly regarded portable products in use today, easily carried between home, school or work, and can be deployed in seconds. It comes with the latest technology, making it easier.
And then I can just press that black knob, and it will pause it. And if I want to play it again, I can do exactly the same.
And fast to connect to a computer or directly to a monitor. And of course, the image quality is the best available. Plus, it can even read text aloud. Extraordinary image.
So you can change the voice on that. You can speed and slow it down. You can navigate quite easily. So if you take a picture of a letter, for example, and you don't want to have your address read out to you, you can navigate through it yourself, which isn't too difficult to do. And you can also save documents as well. So if you put a USB into the side here, not into the side, into the back, sorry, you put a USB into there, and actually save documents and then revisit them at a later date. Like I said, this is a piece of equipment for those that are no longer benefiting from any magnification at all. That's the MagniLink voice there, Pam.
Okay. No, I like that. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's a really simple piece of.
Oh, sorry, just cut out there.
No, so I think that's a really useful and really sort of simple piece of kit, and I guess. And how much does that weigh then?
How much does it weigh? I've actually forgotten the exact. It is 2.4 kilos. 2.
So that's really light, though, isn't it? If you were at college or at school or whatever. Or even just at home, anywhere, going out anywhere, just to.
Yeah, I mean, they never used to be portable, and you would have to have them plugged in. But if you want to take this on holiday with you, then you can. Or if you want to take it into the garden, I mean, you can see I can pick it up with one finger, so you can imagine how light it actually is. But yeah, it's effective, and it's simple to use, and it's a very accurate OCR as well. I don't know if you heard, but the conversion was very clear.
Can you change the voices on that so it's a different voice?
Yes. I've actually got it in simple mode at the moment. This specific device is in simple mode. But you can put it in advanced mode, and that's when you can access all the other functions. The reason why we have simple mode on there is so people don't, accidentally press a button and not know how to reverse it. So basically, when we set it up for someone, we set it up exactly how they want it, so that they don't accidentally change it.
I think that's quite a really important thing as well, actually. It's just to make things, I think unfortunately you can knock things by accident and then think, what have you done? And that's really cool.
Yeah, exactly that, yeah.
Does it have a similar function to Alexa in that you can vary the speed of speech?
You can change the speed of the speech, yes.
Yeah, that's fine. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, you can't talk to it like you would an Alexa, but
No.
you all the controls are well, you control the controls via these buttons here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Functions. So yeah, that's pretty much mainly what I wanted to talk about today. We do have some smaller handheld magnifiers. I'm sure you're all probably quite familiar with those because there is lots of them. But this is the sort of main equipment we focus on, and what we try and demonstrate.
And are you visiting people at home at the moment?
We
able to or not, depending on obviously with the current restrictions.
We are visiting people if they're happy for us to go in. We are fully sort of wearing PPE, masks, aprons, gloves. So it's all up to the individual really. If they want us to go in, we're happy to do it. We do sanitize all the equipment, so everything will be clean and we will be as safe as possible. Or we've even done a couple outside because they're all battery operated. You can actually do demonstrations outside. I mean, I know it's a bit cold, but it's definitely doable.
Yeah, it's a way around it.
So yeah, we are offering that. Sorry, Pam, I lost you again there.
I was just wondering if anybody else had anything else they'd like to ask you about the equipment. With some of this equipment, that's are you able to leave it with people for a while so they can use it for trial it for a week?
Yeah,
also?
yeah,
Is that something you're able to do?
Yeah, definitely. 2 weeks we allow for a trial period with no obligations. So we'll arrange to get it picked up, via a courier if you don't want it. And obviously, if you do want it, then we can talk about different payment options. But yes, if anyone would like to trial the equipment, then please do get in contact.
Yeah, that would be the first question I'd probably be asked is how much does it cost? This
machine here.
Yeah.
So this machine is £2,195, £2,195.
Yeah. It wouldn't be me that would be buying it, but that would be the first question I will get asked. That would be good. But how much is it?
Yeah. What's quite nice about this is once you've bought it, it's not like a computer which needs constant software updates. It's how it works now is how it will work in 5 to 10 years time. It doesn't need updating constantly. I will send you a price list of everything I've demonstrated today, just so you can refer people when you're passing on this information.
Yeah, that'd be really helpful. So if you can send that to me, and once we've and then we'll get this video sent out as well, and I'll send it out to everybody who's attended, also to the people who haven't able to attend, and also we put up on our website as well, our YouTube channel as well, so it will be available for anybody who'd like it at a later date. So
yeah, no, that sounds good.
I've got a question, if I may. Hi, Joe. It's Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi. Regarding the MagniLink Tab, if we could go back to that a second.
Yeah,
now,
sure.
How does it fare with I like in particular the way that the camera comes round to the front. That's a nice touch. How does it fare with distance viewing?
In terms of its quality?
Yeah, I mean, in the camera, can you turn it, look away at the wall, or like on the whiteboard or whatever, and is the OCR with distance viewing as well?
Yeah, of course. Let's go back to it.
Here's a quick example of how fast it is to set up to, I guess.
Yeah, I'm cheating a little bit because I've already got it set up. But it's literally just, once you put the camera in that hole at the back, it's literally a case of just lifting this, pulling that forward, and then the cable just slots in on the left hand side, and then you're pretty much good to go. So do you want me to actually show you the distance camera with a bit more distance?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm presuming that, how far away is that the poster in the back wall there? Is there a bit of writing on that? Or?
Yeah, that's not actually that far away.
Right, okay.
I mean, it's got a range of about sort of 10 meters where it will still accurately pick it up. Again, I haven't really got anything in the office to actually sort of demonstrate it now. Let me see if I can try and tell you what, if I come over here, this, if we can get a bit more. I'm going to go onto this external camera. Right, I'm just going to try and zoom in on. I'm not sure how well you can sort of see the I'm just in the out the back of the office.
Okay.
I'm just going to try and zoom in. Can you see that there?
Yep.
So that machine, that's about 5 meters away from me, and you can see you can get up really close, and it will still keep its focus. But I haven't actually got any text that I can OCR at a distance like that. I have actually got a video showing the OCR at a distance, which I can send that over to you.
Sure.
That's
and presumably, as it's a tab in Windows 10, you know, the OCR will work equally as well on an electronic document that's been emailed to you and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly that, and that's why we decided to go with a Windows 10. With a Windows 10 computer, because downloading any other external programs will be compatible. Mm-hmm. Obviously, with iPads and some Android tablets, downloading some external programs can be quite difficult. But obviously, with a Windows 10 computer, you shouldn't get that. So, if you wanted to put specialist reading software on here, like Zoom Text or Supernova or something like that, then you could. Mm-hmm. It's not a problem getting it on here.
Good. And you waved the keyboard about.
Yeah.
Is that can it all be controlled with shortcuts as well?
Yeah. So if I go back here, so you can see our magnification. I'm just going up and down on the on the keys. If I press F2, it will change all the colors. F3 will also do the colors. If I press F4, it will do an OCR. So all of the functions that you can control on the screen, we can control via the keyboard as well. And you can connect any Bluetooth keyboard. If you want one with large keys, then you can connect that. It's entirely up to you, as long as it's got Bluetooth capability.
Good. Right.
It will be fine. And if you want to get rid of that sort of bar on the screen, if you double tap, it will remove it. It gives you a bit more space, a bit more screen space, and then you can use the keyboard. So that is one advantage of using the keyboard, is you get that extra little bit of space at the bottom.
Got you.
But yeah, no, good questions.
Well, thanks very much.
Thanks for asking. Have you what do you do? Do you work for?
Well, yeah, I work for Visibility Scotland. It seems that you're getting quite a lot of people coming from north of the border on the session today.
Yeah.
And we've got the project I'm working on at the moment it's actually young people that are in the steering group driving it, and they're trying to draw focus on accessibility and assistive technology. So the young visually impaired kid, like the young visually impaired people are needing this in education and in their life, and they're trying to draw a focus on it. So, we're building all this information up to put it on the website. One of the girls that's on the group actually has I don't know if it's the tab, but it's certainly the MagniLink that they have. So I thought about,
what was that? Sorry, I lost you there.
One of the young people who are on the steering group actually has one of the MagniLinks. I think it is the MagniLink Tab. I'm not sure if it's that or just the MagniLink.
Right.
So that's in Glasgow. So she
Yeah,
was telling.
we've got lots of these out in Scotland. It's hard to remember where all of them are. But
So
yeah,
I think it's relatively new to her, and I mean, I myself, I'm registered blind. I'm using Zoom Text, and I use the Connect 12, which I'm sure you'll be familiar with, which is not too dissimilar.
No, I think the main sort of difference is the fact that this is obviously Windows 10 based, rather than an Android tablet. And the external camera we have, you can use for close up as well as distance. Yeah,
so they use the two different. There's two cameras, the tablet camera and the Kodak camera kind of thing. But yeah, no, it's nice. I like, and again, as I say, I like the way that you can have the screen flat like a laptop, and then turn the camera to look, in front of you. So you've got that bit of to see what you're, that would be good for form filling and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. And whilst you bring that point up, if you've got a small child, you can also bring it right down.
All right.
So you can see you can bring it all the way down, really close if you wanted to. Because I know some children, especially primary school students, having it up too high is difficult for them to actually see it. So this stand has been designed basically wherever I put it, it will stay there. You can see I'm moving it lots of different angles. That's obviously as a laptop, but if you want to have it slightly higher or even further down, it will just stay wherever you put it. And you can use the camera within the computer as well. If you are going to use that though, you need to get the right projection. It would have to be up here. So if you can,
whereabouts is the camera positioned in the back of the tablet?
So it is
the corner.
It's just here in the middle.
In the centre.
I'll just show you because this actually comes out.
Zoom in.
It comes out, so it's just there.
Right, okay.
But when you put it in the stand, you're actually putting it in upside down, but the camera will just sit there.
Yeah.
On the bottom. We would always encourage to use the external camera because that's where you get the real quality. But if some students might like using that camera at some stage, it just depends on the user really. But we would always encourage to use this camera because that is what gives you the quality. Because obviously the computer camera is not designed for visual impairment. It's just a camera that Microsoft have built into this computer. So once you start getting to a sort of really high magnification, it will sort of start to lose its clarity.
Yeah.
Whereas the external one doesn't. So. Any other questions, or is that?
Okay, I don't think so. Alex or Chris, do you have anything else you'd like to ask Joe before we wrap up?
No, not really. Thanks. It's been very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always hard to demonstrate products without seeing it in the flesh. I think it's something we're all trying to get used to, sort of showing the right angles and all that sort of stuff. But if any of you do want to borrow one in the future, let us know and we can get one sent to you.
Thank you, Joe, for the talk.
That's all
thanks
right.
very much. Sure.
No problem at all. No problem.
Okay then. Well, I think then we will just leave it there. So Joe, thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
That's okay. My pleasure.